problem with a goal is it's sort of a pinpoint laser shot at a specific thing. So let's say you want to be the best javelin thrower and win the Olympic gold medal in that. Well, that's great if it works, but what about the thousands of people who tried that and it didn't work? When they're done, they're prepared for nothing else. All right, now that's an extreme example, but as opposed to goals, what I recommend people look at is a system. A system is something you do every day, and you don't have a specific goal, but it's moving you in the right direction in the sense that it's moving you from a place of low odds to a place with better odds. So for example, simply going to college is a system that you don't know exactly what you're going to do at the end of it. Most people don't. But you know it improves your odds.
We all have things that we want to achieve in life. Some of us want to become rich. Some of us want to get married. Some of us might want to start a cult. But for me, my main goal is to document my journey towards becoming successful and towards becoming fulfilled, leaving no stone unturned for anyone that wants to follow the journey after me. But what I'm starting to realize is, when it comes to the results, it's more important to focus on setting systems than it is to focus on setting goals. Let me explain. So I think the best way to explain it is just by giving you a few examples, and you should be able to infer what's the definition of a system between a goal is. So if you're an athlete, your goal is to win the gold medal at the Olympics, but your system is to practice every single day. If your goal is to become an entrepreneur, then your system is learning the skills of sales and marketing and all of that stuff. If your goal is to, whatever the case may be, to become a writer, then the system is to sit down every single day and write 200 words a day. It's that. The goal is say you're at the start of a race at the moment, your goal is the finish line of the race, and the system is everything that it will take to get you towards that goal or towards the finish line of the race. The system is the pathway and the actual running along the pathway to get towards the finish line.
They get away first time. Tyson Gay right alongside Usain Bolt, but here he goes, streaking away already. It's Bolt all the way. He's looking round at Gay. Watch the clock. It's goal for Bolt. And again, he's done it again.
And if you're not completely convinced, and I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not 100% bought into this idea of systems over goals. I feel like you need to balance the two. You need to have a North Star that you're heading towards, but focus on the systems that's going to get you towards that North Star. I'm going to give you 3 different reasons why you need to focus on systems in your life. And the first one is that goals have been scientifically proven to reduce happiness. Because when you're constantly looking at your goals, you're constantly reminded of where you are now and how far away you actually are towards your goals. When you look at your goals, often you see them as such a far away thing, and you think to yourself, oh, I'll be happy when I reach those goals. But in reality, that's the wrong mindset, because if you're constantly looking at stuff that you don't have, you forget to be grateful for what you do have. So remember that goals have been scientifically proven to reduce happiness, so use them as a motivator, but don't dwell on them too much. That's what the science is saying, at least. So the solution to this problem of goals reducing happiness is to focus on a system instead of a goal. If you set these huge goals for yourself, and I'm not recommending this as a goal, but if your goal is to make £1 million, you've got no idea how you're going to get there. It's overwhelming. You're so far away from it that you're going to be upset. Instead, focus on committing to a system. The system can be you're going to work for 5 hours a day on this skill, and that is a lot more manageable because you can break it up into day chunks. I'm only going to spend 2 hours a day on this skill. Tomorrow I'm going to spend 2 hours a day on this skill. And you can break it up into actionable steps instead of this long-term goal, which is so far away that you're going to put loads of pressure on yourself, etc., etc. And the second one. This is going to sound very counterintuitive, but goals can sometimes actually be negative towards long-term results. And what I mean by this is, have you ever heard of someone that's set a goal to lose a certain amount of weight? Well, the perfect example for me, which I witnessed in my brother, was to run a marathon. And he would train so hard every day to run the marathon. He would set it up, he'd run 10k, then 20k, then half a marathon, and so on and so on and so on. But what happened is, after he reached the goal, he did the complete opposite. He stopped training completely. And what you don't want this to happen in your life. You don't want to set a goal, reach the goal, and then go back, almost like a yo-yo, where you set it, you reach the goal, and then you go back to worse off than you were before. Setting goals can sometimes be detrimental to your long-term results, and instead you should focus on the system instead of the long-term result. You should focus on training every single day, running a little bit longer every single day, so that when you hit the half marathon or the marathon, you keep going, you keep improving your skills so that it's a long-term skill instead of just a yo-yo effect. And number 3, this goes back to my roots, the stoic dichotomy of control. And what this means is that there are some things within your control and some things that aren't within your control. Goals are never within your control. Something might happen that you've got no control over. Like, you might get amputated. You might get in a car crash and break your leg and you can't run the marathon anymore. If this happens, then you've now failed your goal. You're now going to feel bad about it. But if you focus on a system, something that you can pretty much control every single day, you can focus on running a little bit more every single day, or improving, practicing on a skill every single day. That's so much more within your control than setting a goal. So stop focusing on things that aren't within your control, because if something that happens that's not within your control that stops you from getting that goal, you're going to feel crushed, negative, and you're going to feel like it's all down to you. But instead, if you focus on something that is within your control and you build feedback loops that remind yourself every single day that you're getting a little bit closer towards not your goal, but your long-term vision, then that's so much better. Remember, focus on things that are within your control rather than things that aren't within your control. At the end of the day, the most important note is that you've got to love the journey. Now listen up. I've made a course that's designed to give you the 7 most important habits that you need in your life. And I've given you the complete system that you need to get these habits, and the complete system that you need to keep these habits and reap all of the benefits. You see, to make these habits, it takes a little bit of willpower to make them. But once you have them, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the benefits, reap the benefits of all of these important habits. So click the link in the description to get this course for just $7, which is the ultimate course, the no bullshit guide for you to become self-disciplined. So click the first link in the description if you want to become self-disciplined and build the 7 most important habits in your life.